Dang it, I'm gonna cry again. Like, why do I feel so much? Sarah, I have a bone to pick with you. I was not in a mental place to be feeling these things, and yet you make me feel these things. Hey there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Mackenzie, and today I am going to be talking about the Assassin's Blade. Just a little bit of background. I have never read any of the Throne of Glass series, so I am so pumped for this entire series. Now, I do want to give you a heads up that I am having to preserve all these books from the library. I'm actually listening to them on the Libby app. So the downside of that is that I have the Assassin's Blade right now, but I still have 16 weeks before Throne of Glass comes out. So we're gonna have to wait for Throne of Glass, but that's okay. It's just part of the process. It just will build the anticipation is what I'm hoping. So my plan is to kind of just do this reading vlog style so that you get my reactions as soon as I finish the different novellas. So without further ado, let's give it a go.
Hello, my bookish friends. We interrupt your regular scheduled programming to let you know that this is a spoiler video. If you've been living under a rock like I have and don't want any part of that, this is your warning. Do not come after me. Okay, bye.
So it's been a couple days and I'm currently in the third novella, which is The Assassin and the Desert. I wanted to give a brief update on where I'm at so far. Essentially, The Assassin's Blade is a series of 5 novellas, but what I'm realizing so far that I don't know that I knew going into it was that it's all consecutive, or at least it is so far, which I think is pretty nice. It almost makes me wonder why she wrote it as novellas instead of just one full story. I mean, it flows very well as if it is just one story. The first novella is The Assassin and the Pirate Lord, and then it's The Assassin and the Healer. The Assassin and the Pirate Lord, essentially SparkNote's version, is we're introduced to Selena's character and the guild of assassins that she works for, and we see her go on a mission and she runs into the Pirate Lord. Makes sense. And while she's on the mission, her and the fellow assassin that she's with, Sam, end up going against orders and they free a bunch of slaves. I will be honest, and I hate to say this, it was not a strong start for me. I like the premise of it. I think it's really interesting how we're immediately thrown into this world. It could be considered like an epic adventure, but I think Selena's character is just really grating on my nerves, unfortunately. But I'm hoping that that's kind of the point, you know, that this is her character backstory and that we will end up liking her later on. So, like, I'm still here for it. I still have an open mind, but I rated The Assassin and the Pirate Lord like 2 stars, just because it took me days to get through a short novella. I didn't feel like I connected with her. Me, personally, the only redeeming factor of that one was Sam. Sam is such a likable character, and I lied. I guess there's 2 things. So redeeming factor is Sam. The other redeeming factor is the potential of the budding relationship. You can just tell that there's something there. I'm excited to see what happens with that. So yeah, it was a little bit of a disappointment, but I'm still keeping an open mind and I'm still like really excited to read the rest of the series. So that was the first novella. The second one is The Assassin and the Healer. It's super short. It takes place immediately after the events of the first story, where she is traveling and on her way to the Red Desert. And on her travels, she meets, oh gosh, I already forgot her name. Is it Irene or Irina? I think it's Irene. But she meets Irene, who works at a tavern. Essentially, the story is Selena teaching her self-defense. And that's essentially the entirety of the story. It's cute, it's fun. I didn't hate it. It was just kind of there. I rated that one 3 stars because it wasn't bad, but it also wasn't gripping in any way. It was just, it was a story. So I'm currently in the middle of The Assassin and the Desert, and I'm liking it so far. I feel like we're beginning to see a little bit more humility, or Selena is having to be humbled, and I actually really liked that. I feel like her character needs to be brought down a few notches. I swear to merciful, if she says I am Selena Sardathian one more time, or if she makes some kind of comment about do they know who I am, like I'm gonna throw something. I hate that mentality anyway, but it's not endearing me to her. So I would be very grateful if that stopped, but I have a feeling it's not going to, and that's okay. Again, I know this is just the introduction of her character, so I'm just keeping an open mind, but that is one thing that I wish was not here. Oh my God, I am floored. I'm stunned. I have no words. Like, Ansel just poisoned her. I was not expecting that at all. Here I was thinking that she had like a genuine friendship going on with her and that she was like really growing, and then it's all gone. This is why I have trust issues. Yeah, anyway, I have no words. I'm just pissed. But I'm going to set this back down so that I can keep listening to it and see how this ends. I'm still kind of stunned a little bit. I just finished The Assassin in the Desert as well as The Laundry, and that was definitely the most exciting story of the Assassin's Blade thus far. I'm super excited to see where this ends up going. I was not expecting that betrayal at all, and man, the relationship that she ended up having with the Silent Master was just like so endearing. And like, you know, I was saying before how I really didn't empathize with her character. I wasn't compelled by her character at all, and like I'm still struggling with that, but we are getting a glimpse into her humanity, you know, starting to realize that honestly, like, she's been a victim her whole life. Whenever she was a child, she was given and taken in by Arabin. She had no choice in this life. It was either this or basically become a prostitute. She is a product of her environment. Now, is she still a brat? Yes, absolutely. But we're starting to see like the layers underneath that. There's more to her character. I would rate this one like a 3.5. It's growing on me for sure. It doesn't have me in a chokehold, but I can see how this could be building into something. I'm super excited. I'm going to get started on the next one, and I'll update you guys whenever I'm done with that. It's been a couple days and I just finished The Assassin in the Underworld, and it's just a story of a mission that she goes on, and I have mixed feelings about this one, a little bit more so than the other ones, because ultimately I feel like it was just a little bit too long for what happened. I feel like a lot of it could have been condensed a lot more, and it was a lot of buildup for something that was pretty anticlimactic, with them really planning on how they were going to kill the target, and then in 2 sentences he was dead, and that was it. It just felt a little anticlimactic for me. Story-wise, it wasn't my favorite. It wasn't terrible either. It was just kind of there. I will say Sam is the best. Sam is my favorite character in this entire thing. Forget Selena. Selena could die and like it would be tragic, but I would get over it very quickly. But Sam is the redeeming character in this whole thing. I think everyone needs a Sam in their life, and I think her relationship with Sam is helping me enjoy Selena's character more. Like the fact that she, I think my favorite thing in the whole thing, probably like in the entire story thus far, is the fact that she put, that's so sweet, when she used the spider silk and put it on his armor to protect him. And I love how like before, whenever she was getting fitted and she was asking about it, you know, you just assume that she's going to put it on her own armor, but then come to find out the reason that he was alive was because she put the spider silk, and she didn't even take the credit for it. She just kind of let it be there. That was my favorite part in the whole story. Or like him coming in to save her again. Like, we keep hearing how Selena is like the greatest assassin, but then in Skull's Bay, their whole mission wouldn't have been accomplished if Sam wasn't there. She would have died in the sewers if Sam hadn't have come by. So it's like, not Sam coming in clutch again. I just love his character so much. And like they finally got together, and I thought that whole thing was just so sweet of them finally confessing their love for each other and like their sacrifice for each other. I love it. Switching gears a little bit, I got the hardcore ick with Arabin and Lysandra. like visceral ick. So you're gonna tell me that Arabin knew of Lysandra since she was, what was it, 10 years old, like young, and he's helped mold her career to be a courtesan, and then he's going to bid on her with Selena's money. Like, you obviously can't see, but like I have like ick chills right now, just like the whole I have no coherent thoughts. It's just I don't even know where to go from there. Like, it was just yeah, I felt that in my soul so much, and like not in a good way. That was just, it was not good. So now moving on to the fifth and final story, The Assassin and the Empire. At this point, Sam and Selena are together. I've started a little bit, and they are like buying their freedom, and they are on their own. So I'll let you guys know whenever I'm done with it. I wasn't prepared for that. I just got home from like a 45-minute drive, and on the way home, like, Sam died. And gosh, I really hope I don't start crying again. Like, on the way back home, I was like ugly crying to the point that I got lost on the way home because I was just so like wrapped up in the moment. Like, I said before that like everyone needs a Sam in their life, and Sam was like the best thing about this story. And oh dang it, I'm gonna cry again. Like, why do I feel so much? We're just gonna blame this on it being that time of month. It's fine. So anyway, I finished the story, and basically it's a story of Selena and Sam, and they are trying to start their lives over, and in order to get the money to move on, they pick up this one gig to basically take out a rival mob boss. In the process, Sam dies, and oh, I saw some beautiful like fan art. Dang it, that's gonna make me start crying again. Oh my gosh, it just rips your heart out. Sarah, I have a bone to pick with you. I was not in a mental place to be feeling these things, and yet you make me feel these things. Anyway, so Sam dies, and Selena understandably goes out to take revenge, and it turns out it's a trap, and she ends up being sentenced, and her one request was that it be a quick death. And of course the king hears that and is like, you know what, no, I'm gonna send you to the salt mines instead. So that's how the story ends, and I'm assuming that it picks up right there in Throne of Glass. Yeah, no, it ended and I was a wreck. Obviously, I'm still a wreck. So let me talk about my overall thoughts about The Assassin's Blade. I would say that with each story, it gets progressively better. It started out and I absolutely hated it. I was like, this is not looking good. But then with each story, like, I started to care a little bit more about Selena's character. Obviously I fell in love with Sam from the get-go. That's obvious. And honestly, I'm really excited to see where all of these different nuggets that we get, where they pop up in the future. It sucks that I'm getting it from the library because I feel like I'm going to forget a lot of things. So like, for that reason, I could see why reading The Assassin's Blade would be kind of beneficial to read it either third or fourth, how you would like be seeing some of these characters pop up, and then you could see how they played into her past. So I don't know, I might do a reread after, but we'll see. There's a lot of books in this series, so I don't know. But overall, I would rate this at like a 3.75 or 4 stars. I feel like it took me a while to get through it. Some of the stories I feel like were just a little bit too long, and I really didn't like Selena's character. Honestly, the redeeming factor of it was Sam, hence the emotion. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I feel like it set up the Throne of Glass series really well, and I'm excited to jump into it. So that's the end of the video. If you've actually made it all the way to the end, thank you so much, and feel free to stick around for future book shenanigans.